Hey everyone, welcome. And I am live and I'm actually recording this time. I didn't forget. Make sure everything's good on my end. So when you come in, you ain't gotta wait for me. There we go. All right. I think we should be good. And everybody should be able to see me. I know I am live on Facebook right now. I'm also recording on Instagram. So if you are on YouTube, on my YouTube, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube yet, subscribe to my channel because this video might is going to go on my YouTube as well. And I sometimes post trainings that did not go on Facebook on my YouTube channel. So don't forget to sign up. Now, one thing I want to talk about is I'm gonna go cut straight to the chase, right? Is nonprofit leaders, they have to start shifting from a problem focused to solution driven mindset. Now, what I mean by that is that I've noticed, I know I've shared that a couple times, some leaders and sometimes even in Facebook groups, I see it, so many people that are like focused on so many bad things that are happening or things they perceive as bad or things that are messing with their nervous system and gets them to be in a place where they cannot function accordingly or they are so sad, they are so anxious, they are so worried, they're not really thinking about, okay, what's the solution? Because one thing with me is that over the years, one thing I've adopted, or one thing that I've been trying to be more focused on, are the tenets of Stoicism. And one thing about Stoicism that I like, that I enjoy, is the fact that if I cannot control it, I need to let it go and focus on my actions. Now, why is that important? A lot of folks don't understand. Like a lot of things that are happening in this day and age are outside of your control. Because the only thing you can control are your actions, right? Now, as a nonprofit leader, how do you shift from being problem focused to solution driven? Now, it's something like where I want to tell you, like you're looking at all these policy changes or all of these things that affect the communities that you serve or the work your nonprofit does. But the problem is one thing. But what is the solution to solve the problem that you are facing? And that's the shift that I want many of you to start making because there is such value in being able to work on a solution instead of focusing on the problem. You may be saying, oh, it's easy to say. Yes, it is. Because if you ask yourself, can I change this in the next 10 minutes? No. So why are you giving yourself stress and anxiety about something you have no control over, cannot change in the next 10 minutes, but the stress and anxiety you're putting on yourself is going to cause a long-term problem for your body and your health and potentially the health of the people that you are leading. And that's why I say, like, being problem focused instead of solution driven, that is a horrible quality to have as a leader. And I need you to start being a little bit more solution driven. And especially right now in the current climate that we're in, I do not give two flies who you voted for, but I am saying you need to start adopting a solution driven mindset because whoever it is, whatever happened, it is none of my business. I've been telling you my motto in 2024 and 2025, even in 2026, is going to be mind your business and focus on what you can solve right now. And right now, what I can solve is come here every week, almost every day, and lead to the best of my abilities and take 100 nonprofits with me in 2025. Boom, that's it. That's what I can control. Other things I can control is making sure that my home is clean, my kids have food to eat, and I'm sane. So these are things I can control. Other things I can control is making sure that you are showing up and have the best knowledge possible so you can go about your business and build up your nonprofit organization, because that is what I can control. That is my job, right? That is what I enjoy to do. So I want you to start taking your leadership role seriously. You probably did, but the title, that's not all it is. There's so much more to leadership that a lot of people are not taking advantage of. You have the ability to start a movement if you want to, and actually take people to the next level of their lives, or maybe inspire them, empower them. But you're not tapping into that because of your mindset, because of the way you function, because you're so afraid of displeasing people, of people thinking that you are too much. You're so busy like trying to make sure that you are jumping on every bandwagon or saying things that are palatable to a few people, that you're forgetting that that's not your job as a leader. As a leader, you're not going to be liked for everything that you decide, everything that you do, but you have to be focused on the solution. Sometimes the solution is not something everybody will like, okay? Not something everyone will like. So, one of the pitfalls of being like problem focused and being fixated on the problem, like let's say some people I've seen are so worried about like the funding freeze and stuff like that, even though there was um a judge said no, it's not gonna happen or whatever, but it could. It's still a scare. Like, if you dwell on the challenges and you're worried about the funding and you're stopping your programs, you're not focusing on the solution, right? You're going to focus on asking like questions that don't make sense, that don't lead you to the next level. Because right now, if there's a funding freeze, what are you going to do? Did you have option B? No, you didn't. Instead of focusing on option B, you're focusing, oh, what happens if option A goes around? Oh, we're going to have to close the door. These are the people we're going to have to fire. Or all of these things. This is how we're going to reduce our program. You're not really thinking about, okay, how do we make sure that we put our organization in a place where not having fund A is not going to impact the activities that we do within this organization. This is the place I want you to start being in, because you need to start being in a place where you're not so fixated on the problem that you're talking about like all these things that don't make sense. Like, I'm literally seeing in Facebook groups, because I go in Facebook groups every day to engage, answer questions, and things like that. And I see people asking questions about what's the best donation platform? Do you like Zeffy? Do you like GiveButter? I don't care. Go on Google. Go find out. Like, I don't think a Facebook group is the best. Like, there's so much better things to do with your time as a nonprofit leader. Instead of focusing on what the best donation platform is, just set one up and move on, because that should not be your focus. Your focus should be governing. Your focus should be fundraising. Your focus should be making sure your nonprofit has the funds and the revenue to support his activities. Now I'm trying to figure out if Zeffy, GiveButter, or DonorBox are the best platforms. Like, come on now. Like, I'm going to need you guys to start thinking about what actually moves the needle and not focusing on sugar, spice, and everything nice that makes your nonprofit look good, because it doesn't. Okay. Like, focus on what revenue generating activities, right? And strategic plans that are needed to get your nonprofit to a place where it's safe and secure and able to continue making an impact and continue uplifting people in the community and continue supporting paying like your staff. Because I do believe in that as well. Nonprofits, like if you're hiring people, like you think about it, it's a huge industry. You're providing jobs. That's empowering the community, right? Why are you not focusing on how to raise money through philanthropic networks or sponsorships so you can make sure that people have money in their pockets to feed their families? That's you doing a service hiring people as well. Okay, so just sending that as a side note. Now, I want you to think about this. Like, the National Center for Charitable Statistics, like they said that approximately 30% of nonprofits are going to fail within the first 10 years, often due to leadership and strategic planning issues. So I'm going to need you to not be the leader that causes the nonprofit to have to close its doors after 10 years. Because a lot of the nonprofits that I see out there have wonderful missions. They have wonderful, wonderful missions, but they are not being led by individuals who have their minds right. Your heart may be in the right place, but your business acumen is trash, right? Your mindset on how to run a business, because your nonprofit organization is a business. If you don't like what I'm saying about your nonprofit organization is a business, you have the option to press the X button. And I'm okay with that. But it is a business. And if a leader does not understand that, that's where issues come up. Okay. Because then these leaders have issues with indecision. They have issues with inaction. Now, what I mean by that, they're the ones who are going to hesitate on making decisions. Oh, do we have enough money for that? Instead of focusing, how can we raise the money to do this? Because we need this. They're hesitating because they're focusing on the lack rather of how can I make sure I support the organization by us getting the funds to do this. Or they're missing opportunities because they didn't take action. Oh, I don't think this is the right fit for us. Not right now. We don't have the time. Oh, our time, we're going to focus on like our pages, our Facebook pages. But you had an opportunity to partner with an organization that maybe in 1 year had $100,000 grant to give you, but you weren't focused on that partnership because you were focused on making sure your Facebook page looked nice. Okay. So indecision, inaction with leaders, that's a big red flag. So I'm going to need y'all to get it together as a nonprofit leader and start making decisions that actually move the needle. Like resource mismanagement is another one. You're focusing, like, remember I said, you're focusing on Facebook pages. You're focusing on so many minor details that you're neglecting the major strategic initiatives that are needed to move your nonprofit forward. Instead of focusing on ensuring that your nonprofit has the systems in place to ensure your nonprofit is able to succeed 1, 2, 3 years from now, you're focusing on, oh, we need to throw a gala, our first gala, right? We need to do XYZ. We need to get all these pretty pieces. Is it the right time? And if you do that, is it costing you more money? Is it making you enough money? Or are you just doing it because you like a good time? Sometimes you have to focus on strategic initiatives that actually make a difference instead of the things that look cute. Because too many leaders I'm seeing out there are focusing on the things that look cute or the things that look like every nonprofit is doing because that's what they think they should do, instead of focusing on the strategies needed for their own organization to move forward. Now, the other thing I'm seeing is the lack of delegation, where a lot of leaders I'm meeting, there was this one woman I met last year, and I know she said her biggest problem with her nonprofit was the fact that she was doing a lot. I'm trying to open this lotion, y'all, and it's giving me a run for my money because my hands are ashy. But yeah, she was telling me that her nonprofit was giving her a run for her money, and she didn't have the time. She was this, she was that, and every time we talked about systems and things like that, it's like she found another problem. So it's like she didn't want to delegate. I don't know. Some people are addicted to being busy, and that's not always a good thing. Well, that's not a good thing at all. Can't be addicted to being busy. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to be busy. Like on a regular day, I want to be on my bed taking a nap. Like for those who know me, I love taking my naps. Even if I'm laying down on the bed doing nothing, I love my naps. Okay, so like the lack of delegation is a big problem with leaders. They're attempting to manage everything personally which causes them to burn out and they really are missing out on opportunities. So when I talk about systems, I know like what my signature course, the signature course that our company has, the Nonprofit Navigator, that's what we work on specifically, is building systems, marketing campaigns and stuff like that, and also a fundraising strategy. But systems is the first module. Okay, there's a reason for that, because when leaders attempt to manage everything personally, it leads to roadblocks. It leads to stalls in growth, right? Because they don't have the time to do everything, and there's too much that falls on the wayside because of that. So I want you to really realize that is a challenge with a lot of leadership, and I do not want that to be you. So definitely take the time to think about the different challenges that exist in leadership and how you can circumvent those and do better with those particular issues that may arise. Okay. Now, another data piece that I researched for this live that I wanted to share with you is that a study that was published by the Journal of Nonprofit Education and Leadership, they found that nonprofit leaders actually reported challenges such as managing difficult employees and keeping up with tech advances, which can hinder their effective decision making. So the managing difficult employees and keeping up with technological advances. Now, these are things that may come up in your nonprofit that I want you to realize you need to have systems in place on how to deal with certain things in your organization to improve how it functions, because these things make a difference. And that goes back to like systems, strategic planning. So that's why I want you to shift really to a solution-oriented mindset. Like if you have a difficult employee that doesn't align with the mission, that is making your nonprofit slow down, then chances are you may need to let them go. Remember, you are a business, okay? And tech advances, you don't have to jump on every bandwagon. And that's, to me, this was an important data highlight because it just went to show, like it showed me that a lot of the challenges that existed in leadership in the nonprofit world were because of this lack of solution-oriented mindset. So with that said, I want you to start shifting to a solution-oriented mindset. And what I want you to do with that is to start prioritizing strategic planning. Okay. And how you do that, I want you to start developing clear, actionable plans that are aligned with the organization's mission, right? I want you to start embracing decision making and start making informed decisions for your nonprofit that help you capitalize on opportunities. Okay. Now you need to start looking at these opportunities as a good thing. Like there was someone who commented on my on a Facebook post I made one. Someone commented on a Facebook post because I was talking about donations and year donations, that you need to start sending emails and messages to potential donors, potential small local businesses, and ask for donations. Because at the end of the day, remember, you are a business. It is your job to secure revenue for your nonprofit organization so you can support the social impact and that you're making, your mission and everything. As a leader, that is your job. This person on Facebook told me, oh, people are not tools. They're not. Nobody said that. So sometimes you need to take your emotions out of post and out of tasks that are given to you and start focusing on the task and that the thing that you need to do. Because too many people are so worried about perception, how people perceive them, or how they think people perceive them, when all that matters is self, right? Are you doing it because you're trying to grow your organization? You're trying to make a difference in your mission? Are you trying to do it for selfish reasons? That's the thing I want you to start realizing. Period. Right? There's no other way about it. You need to like prioritize strategic planning. You need to embrace decision making. as a thing. Because then, one thing I will be honest about myself, because then this is not only for you, even as a business owner, I struggled with decision making in my personal life and also as a business owner. It's a real thing. People struggle with decision making. So you need to embrace decision making. If there is a choice that you need to make for your nonprofit, you need to make a decision. Yes or no? Like you need to stop walking around in circles, like being afraid to hurt feelings. You need to make decisions quickly, and with audacity. Okay, I'm gonna say it that way. You need to make decisions like with audacity, and you need to make them quickly. Because when you are slowing down on making decisions, you're missing on opportunities. And sometimes if you make a decision, you have to be able to think quickly. That's why I want you as leaders to start challenging your mind. Start reading books on fundraising, on leadership, so you can start working those muscles, those brain muscles, and actually start making decisions that actually help. Okay, and I need you to start delegating effectively. You need to start empowering your team members to take ownership of tasks. So instead of saying, hey, you do this, like talk about the process, why it's important, and who has the best skills for what. I used to be a project director for 4 years with an organization I co-founded until last year, right? Now, that's one thing I had to learn, is how to empower the team members and understand that everybody has a unique skill set, and to have them take ownership of certain tasks that they that existed because they needed to feel this sense of ownership, because they take pride in what they say they will do. So you need to delegate effectively by making sure that you're having conversations with your team and empowering them in a way that it leads them to do good in the work that you want them to do. Really talk about the task or what you're trying to accomplish, and talk about when these tasks are due or why they're important, and really have that conversation with them so they can take ownership of it, and have a follow-up conversation like every week, because that needs to be often. Like, hey, this is where we're going. Do you have this ready? Were you able to do this and get these results? Because then you cannot just delegate and be absent. That's the other thing. You can't delegate and be absent. There was a book I read last year. Oh, my phone's recording, because then it's on my Audible. But there's a book I read. It was on entrepreneurship. Because then if you are a nonprofit leader, I encourage you to read books on entrepreneurship as well, how to run a business. Because then the concepts are slightly different. The only thing that's different is the way you generate revenue and the way you sell. Because you're still selling, but you're just selling impact. And the way you generate revenue is going to differ, because now you need to focus on revenue generating activities and products that advance your mission, right? That advance your mission in a way that, yeah, you can tell people all proceeds go to our mission and organization and XYZ. So if you're offering workshops for a fee, like these fees are going to pay for that. Like these are ways, like when I talk about revenue diversification, that's what I'm talking about. These are the things I am talking about. So you need to start looking at all of that. And I want you to stop playing around. Stop playing around and think about ways to diversify your revenue. Yeah, start thinking about ways to diversify your revenue and think about the different things that you need to do as you delegate. Okay. Now, They're nonprofits that implement structured strategic planning processes are actually more likely to achieve their goals and have greater impact. So I know we talk about diversifying revenue, we talk about strategic planning. All of these things are things that you need to do. So start looking at these things, and I'm encouraging you to download, like if you're looking to diversify your revenue and you have not done that yet, I strongly suggest you go get a copy of the donation and financial support letter templates. It's in my stand store, right? It's going to help with enhancing your fundraising efforts. Check my stand store, the link is in my comments. Check my stand store, get yourself a copy and start the process. The framework is in there and instructions on how to use them. It's in there and everything. And also register for there's a free masterclass tomorrow called Solve Your Nonprofit's Funding Problem. It's happening at 3:30 p.m. Pacific. So register now to secure your spot. If you're not able to attend, you're going to get the replay if you register. If you don't register, you don't get the replay. So make sure you register, okay? Now, remember, all I'm saying, adopt a solution-driven mindset and nonprofit leadership, because that's the one way to get your nonprofit to start going in the right direction. Because as a leader, you want to start making decisions that take your organization to the next level. And the shift in your mindset as a leader is very important. It's not just how the nonprofit is functioning, but you as well as a leader need to start making decisions that positively impact your nonprofit organization. And I want you to start focusing on strategic actions that drive meaningful impact, right? Now, if actions you're going to take on a daily is just posting the link to your donation website on your Facebook page, that's not strategic at all. Have you built relationships? Have you built relationships with sponsors, with small businesses, with potential partners? Like, is there a reason that you're building the relationships? Is there a purpose behind why you're having coffee with this person? Do you have strategies in place to increase donor retention? All of these things are things that you need to start thinking about, because then if you don't have those processes figured out, it's going to be hard for you to make the impact that you are looking to make. Okay. Now, I know after a while I'm tapped out. I ain't gonna lie. It's been like what, 27 minutes. And so, but I'm definitely opening the floor and inviting you to drop any questions that you have in the comments throughout the day. I'm gonna go back and answer any questions that you have. But yes, hashtag live if you're watching, hashtag replay if you catch this, and let me know what questions come up, because I definitely want to come back and answer any questions. And for those who are new to my page, my name is Stacey Volsi. I am a nonprofit consultant. I help small to mid-sized nonprofits grow their nonprofit revenue potential and impact through strategic actions and capacity building. And that's it for me for today. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday and talk to y'all soon. Bye.